good friend and director of NAMI Montana, Matt Kuntz.
Thanks, Kurt. Thank you all for coming out here. It really means a lot to the whole NAMI Montana family. This walk is the reason we can get things done. You are the reason that we can get things done. And for all of us who've lost someone to suicide or to mental illness, who have had our lives impacted, thank you. You really are making a huge difference and improving lives. And I need to say hi to my kids in the front row. So I'm really honored today to introduce our signature walker, Scott Hannon. Scott Hannon is an incredible veteran that's made his home in Helena, and he's a retired Navy SEAL commander. I'm deeply honored to call him a friend and thank him for all of his efforts for NAMI Montana. Scott.
Hi, thanks for being here. I was born overseas in Kenya to a foreign service family. Moved around the world, living and traveling. When I graduated from high school in Brussels, I came back to Helena, and I joined the Navy at 18 to be a SEAL. I was an enlisted machine gunner, an engineer, and then later on I was an officer. 23 years down the road, I retired and came back here. I came back here because of a cabin, cousins, and close friends. But that side of my story was special mission units, being the ground force commander for national Keystone missions, an IV education, international commando. That's a cool side. That's kind of the sexy side. That's only one side of my coin. On the other side, I've got mental illness and addiction. And that's why I'm willing to talk today. And that's why I'm willing to be here and thank each and every one of you for what you're doing. Towards the end of my career, I did start to unravel. You know, you can't keep these things buried down for too long. And I was gracious and appreciative of Admiral Bill McRaven. He saved my career and probably my life. He knew what I had been and what I could be again. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here today. My personal experience shares bipolar and the full swings, both up and down. Recurrent major depression, war trauma, repetitive concussive brain injury. And if that's not enough, I decided to pour barrels and barrels of cheap vodka all over it and toss a match. I lived in that inferno, scorching everyone around me, hurting those closest to me, damaging relationships, the full Monty. I'm not here because of the cool stuff, but I'm here because I'm a survivor, because I'm standing, because I can speak to you. The medical professionals who helped me didn't think I'd be here. There was no way that I could survive with what I was doing to myself and what I had inside of my body and my head. But I can. I do have nerve issues, alcoholic nerve damage from inside my brain to my fingers and my toes, and to be able to stand here, just stand here, is a joy. Because I've known the wheelchair and the walker and the crutches and the cane. But I'm able to do this now. And I thank you. And I want to thank a couple other people. One, because I appreciate it, but it also shows everyone that's involved in this. And I'll start with the first responders. the EMTs and the paramedics in the ambulance, the cops that show up when there's issues of addiction and mental illness combined. And I speak in the plural because this has happened to me multiple times here in this community. They've had to do room entries, break down my door, cuff me sometimes, take me out on a gurney sometimes. Always, they were polite, professional, and correct. They scaled their force, their attitude, even their voice intonation to the level that was appropriate, and I thank them. The hospital staffs, the ER, the ICU, for days and weeks sometimes, both at St. Pete's and the VA. Unfortunately, they know my face, and I'm glad they haven't seen me in a while, on the good side. The doctors that have worked on my head and my body, I wouldn't be here without all the professionals in this community that have done their job right. Thank you. The jailers were polite to me. The judges were strict and firm and appropriate. They didn't let me off. They didn't destroy me. They did what was good for me. And I know that now. I didn't appreciate it then. Everyone that I have interacted with in this entire community has been incredibly supportive. And what you're doing now has a national effect. NAMI's Family to Family program has been wonderful for me. It's for the families, the significant others, people that care about you and love you. My girlfriend went, and it made a huge difference for me. She convinced my parents to go from Vermont and New Hampshire, my sister in Maine. This is a national effort, and what you're doing today makes a difference. It's most likely the person standing next to you has directly helped me. So every action you take in this endeavor makes a huge difference, not just for our community, but for our nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. I wanted to give Scott a gift. This is a riverboard for going down Whitewater Rapids, and it belonged to one of NAMI Montana and my dearest friends, Mike Franklin. And not a lot gave him more joy than this board and his wife, Georgia. And Georgia said, I wanted you to give this board to somebody special, so Mike's joy of the rapids can live on. Thank you, Scott.